Good morning, ladies, and welcome to Mindset Corner. Today we're going to be talking about the 5-to-1 ratio and the importance of it when you're dealing with children and your emotions, especially now that we're in the summer because most of our kids are back home enjoying their summer break. And for us, it's not such a break, right? So I want to share with you what the 5-to-1 magic 5-to-1 ratio is. So 5-to-1. So if you have an explosion, let's say you're trying to get things ready to leave the door and you're going and you fall over Susie's shoe, and all of a sudden what do? Susie! And you start yelling. That's your explosion. That's your one. So for every explosion, you want to have 5 positive interactions with your children. Okay? So you need to offset it. So maybe you did 4, maybe you did 5. But the important thing is to offset the negative with 5 positives. And so here is a great concept that I'm into visual cues and habits. And so here is a concept that I have used and implemented in my own life when it comes to having the grandkids around. And I want to share it with you because it made a huge change in how I was parenting with them while they were with me. So what it is 5 hair ties. Any 5 hair ties are not special magic hair ties, they're just hair ties. And so how this works is you take these 5 hair ties, and when the kids wake up in the morning, you're going to add them to your wrist. Now, if you're not with the kids, you're going to take the hair ties off your wrist, because the whole point is that cue, the cue of putting it on, and I'm ready to practice the miracle 5-to-1 ratio, okay? So back to the scenario, you trip over Susie's shoes and your first response is to scream. You yell her name. I've told you 50 times to pick up these shoes, yet they're still here. And you have your explosion. Your explosion removes one of the hair ties from this wrist and you put it to the other wrist. Now, this is where the 5-to-1 magic ratio comes in, because there are 3 things you need to do at this point. First, forgive yourself. Parenting is hard. We're going to have explosions. It's just going to happen. But how we deal with that is what's going to make a difference for these children. Secondly, you're going to want to apologize to the child and challenge yourself to do 5 good acts. And apologizing is one. When Susie gets downstairs and picks up her shoes, you can immediately say, Susie, I'm really sorry. I should not have yelled. I know that I was wrong. Act number 1. Give Susie a hug. Act number 2. Say, you know what, let's make a special location to put our shoes so that we all know where they belong. So let's pick a corner. Act number 3. Tell Susie how much you love her. Act number 4. Act number 5, just look at her and smile. You have now taken one negative response and turned it into 5 positive interactions. Once that is complete, remove the band from this side, put it back on that side, and move on with your day. You've forgiven yourself, you've forgiven her, and you are back on track to end up with all your wristbands on one wrist. That is your goal. If you end up with all the wristbands on one arm, congratulations! This means that you have been communicating into the 5-to-1 ratio, and you will see a much different scenario as the day progresses. So instead of building and each event being a new explosion, but greater because we haven't dealt with it, we now are taking each explosion back to ground level and having hills instead of mountains to climb. I hope you ladies enjoyed this week's Mindset Corner. Remember to follow me on Facebook by clicking the link below and sharing this out with your friends and family who may also be dealing with children at home for the summer. Have a great day, ladies.